It's about that time now. You know. You know.
You know.
Well, that's the MDB, and that's the queen for me. And if we all up in the queendom, it's about 11 p.m.
It's a time
where you find a whole lot of them dimes on the ass. Fuck the L and sit back, get different from dirty rap.
Modern day biz like that.
Boss babe, panda, where you at? Your boy needs some advice with a little bit of laughs.
Ella Dress, speak the truth,
it don't be like no cap.
Every
choose, babe, I be waiting on that feature. Bright purple ribbon clicking in it, they be preaching. Ella Dress, speak the truth, it don't be like no cap. Ella Dress, speak the truth, it don't be like no cap. Ella Dress, speak the truth, it don't be like no cap. Ella Dress, speak the truth, it don't be like no cap. Like no cap.
Y'all heard him. Speak the truth, it don't be lies, no cap. What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Welcome in. It is Modern Day, the only live stream podcast exploring self-love and healthy modern day relationships. I am here to welcome you in to the Bay Hive. We do this each and every Tuesday. We record the podcast right here on TikTok. We edit it up. We put it on other platforms for you to listen to, and we make it so you can come and tap in live during the show. Who's doing that? Is it clicking, Steven? I'm just saying. Anyway, my name again is L the Drug, and I'm super excited to welcome y'all in. Tonight, we have some pretty special stuff going on, and I'm excited to share it with you. This isn't going to be the typical, way that we get to our self-love conversations tonight. Tonight, we're going to get into it a little bit differently on a cultural level, and I have the perfect Boss Babe panelists in the building to help us navigate that conversation. So get your popcorn, get your wine or your Kool-Aid or whatever it is you want to drink. All right. It could be a THC tea. I really don't mind. All right. Just get it. Hurry up and get back because the show is about to start. All right. If you haven't, fave up my DJ Rich Beats. He's the official Modern Day Bay DJ, and he's here every single Tuesday with me. Y'all make sure y'all follow him up. DJ, I love you, man.
You too, Princess.
WDJ Rich Beats. All right. Yes, y'all. Good evening. I am again so excited to be here. This conversation, I get excited. I get excited when these conversations are the ones that I'm like, oh, yay, we get to talk about that this week. Sometimes we plan a little bit ahead and I'm like, okay, this one's cool, or we're going to do this. Okay, that's cool. But this is actually a conversation that I'm very, very excited about. And it's going to hit a little different because while we talk a lot about relationships on the show, tonight we're talking about something that sits underneath every healthy relationship that you'll ever have, honestly. And that is freedom. Now, if you've been on social media this week, you may have seen people getting ready for Juneteenth. It is this Friday. The cookouts are being planned. People are getting their red Solo cups ready and everything like that. I think somebody's uncle is brushing off the electric slide. I don't know. There's some stuff going on. People's getting ready for the holiday, okay? Shout out to those cousins that like to throw a pyramid scheme pitch in at those family reunions, those family shindigs, okay? Those are my favorite, all right? But while all of those things are fun and we enjoy them, Juneteenth is more than a celebration, all right? It is a reminder because on June 19th, 1865, enslaved people in Texas learned they were free more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation had already been signed. I need y'all to lock in and think about that for a second, right? 2 years later, the freedom had existed. The paperwork existed. The declaration had been declared. Everything was already in place, but the information hadn't reached the people. And if we're being honest, that feels like something that happens today, right? Not in the same way, of course, but certainly in ways that keep us in spaces we are free to move from. How many people are walking around with opportunities they don't believe they deserve, right? How many people are free to leave a situation but end up staying anyway? And how many are still carrying old labels that expired years ago? Social media loves to tell us we're living our best lives. We're thriving, we're healed, but some of us are still emotionally reporting to prisons we escaped a long time ago, still asking permission from people who don't have or deserve that authority over our lives, right? Living by rules we never wrote, shrinking in rooms that we've outgrown. And specifically for Black folks, this is something that has been pushed and ingrained in us as a people. They trying to keep us stuck in this position like rigor mortis. If you know, you know. We are trapped by fear, y'all. Trapped by fear, heartbreak, people pleasing, the need to be chosen. And some are trapped by the version of themselves they created just to survive. The question isn't whether the cage exists. It does. We know that, right? The question is whether we've gotten so used to it that it feels like home. That's why tonight we're asking, what does freedom actually look like in 2026, right? Is it financial? Is it emotional? Is it being able to say no without guilt? Or is freedom simply becoming who you were before the world told you who you had to be? Juneteenth isn't just about celebrating the chains that were broken. It's also recognizing the ones we're still carrying. So get comfortable, because you might get a little uncomfortable during this conversation, but that just means that we are growing. All right. I need y'all to get y'all tapping fingers ready, and I need y'all to be ready to challenge ourselves. Let's challenge ourselves tonight, right? Freedom isn't just something we honor. It's something we practice, because if the door is already open, why wouldn't you walk through it? Let's get into it, y'all. I'm going to invite my boss bays onto the screen. And while they do that, let me know what y'all thinking in the comments, what y'all feeling, how y'all, you know what I'm saying? Let me know. The Boss Babe panelists are already on their way. Let's go.
Hey, what's happening?
Hello, guys. How are you?
Man? You know, you just trying to make it look easy when it ain't, mama. That's all. You already know.
Love it. I love it. All right, period. Hold on. We got two. We're going to give them a couple minutes to pop up in here. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was supposed to have Freedom by Beyonce playing right now, but I didn't get it queued up in time. That's my fault.
Freedom.
Come on now. You got the player.
Yeah. Hey,
you got the player. They be trying to act.
How was the parade? But Brother Double, how was the festivity?
It's on Thursday, man.
Oh, Thursday. Okay, I thought it was. I don't really care when y'all really say. I was just asking to be polite, man. You know,
what you mean? What's wrong with the parade? No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to the Knicks, y'all. The Knicks say they out here making summer memories. All right.
Yeah, they making something.
Like I was on the team, man. That's what I'm saying. So like I was.
This is why New York doesn't get nice things, because the people in New York think that they were on the team. Like, no, man. Hey, Jordy, what's happening?
You know what though? To be a ride or die, like to be rooting for a team that long with nothing, I'm not even mad at them, because they was riding. So the wheel fell off, baby.
Is this what this episode's about tonight? I didn't know.
1972.
I didn't know that's what this episode was about. This I didn't know that.
and it's not. Shout out to the Knicks. Yeah, but it's been some time. All right, we got it. We don't know when we're gonna be able to do it again. We got to shout them out right now.
Free in New York City.
We're gonna do it again next year too. By the way, we're gonna do it again next year.
That's a lot.
That's what freedom looks like. The Knicks winning. Oh Lord.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Welcome in, y'all. We got the Boss Babe panel in the building. I told you I got it stocked up tonight. All right. We're gonna go ahead and do the intros, do a quick temp, and get into this conversation about Juneteenth. If you are just tuning in, just don't go nowhere, because we got a lot of show ahead of us. All right. So let's get into it. We've got the Boss Babes in the building. Yes. Kicking it off, we've got the one and only, the new Dangerous is here, y'all.
Gang. What's happening?
Gang. Dangerous. I have a question. What are the modern chains, in your opinion, we still carry today?
Oh, carry is a little different than wear, right? Like a lot of chains I carry, it's only a few pair that I wear, right?
Okay.
I think, the ones that come with being born Black, right? There's a set of chains that just come with the way you are born when you Black, and I think that we all know what some of those are, right? It is artificial ceilings put in place by systems and people and processes, right? It is the limiting beliefs that are put out there for us, right? The ones that tell us what we can't be and who we can't be as a function of that.
Ooh, look,
I
he
think
cooking
that
already, y'all. Y'all gonna have to, y'all gonna have to stay here for some of them answers, okay? Y'all gonna have to stay here for
yeah,
some of them answers.
yeah. I don't want to. Other people got answers. I want to give them some space. You know what I mean? I might flex tonight. I'm feeling good, so it
Get in
might be that
there.
kind
Please,
of. It might be
I'm
that kind of
ready.
night. You know what I
Please, let's
mean?
do it. Let's do it. Period.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the one and only Miss Sassy Red is in the building, y'all. That's my girl right there. Go, girl. Girl, what do you think? What are the modern chains we still carry today?
I
Off the
mean,
top.
Dangerous is hitting on a lot of good points. You know what I mean? I mean, like he said, like it's being in a position of being black. Sometimes we're just painted with those, those stereotypes that that people put on us that we either work through or feel as though we have to overcome.
Mm.
So,
And can I just take a moment to shout out your hair? I see what you did. I love it.
Fantabulous.
Very,
Yeah.
very. I love it. I love it. Y'all better peep my girl, Miss Sassy Red. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Double Trouble is in the building, y'all.
Hey, my guy.
Double, what say you? What are the modern chains we still carry, in your opinion?
A chain that I carry is being accused and held accountable for the actions of other men. You feel what I'm saying? That don't know no better. You know what I mean? That's definitely a chain that I gotta carry. You feel as a man going into, you know what I mean? For sure. So yeah,
My guy, getting to it early. I see what type of time we on. Yeah.
Yeah, he like what? In the, what did I? You know what? Shout out to Double, y'all. Double's in the building. We've also got my girl, Dr. Nikki 24/7 in the building. What's up, Nikki?
Big doctor. Big doctor.
Stop playing with her. Yeah. How you feeling, girl?
I'm feeling amazing. I am feeling absolutely amazing.
Good. You look amazing. I'm loving it. Let me hear what you got to say. What are the modern chains we still carry, in your opinion? What's one of the ones we got to lock in on?
Yeah, one of them I think we have to lock on is hustle culture, actually. I think that we have been so conditioned to just work to the point of exhaustion that we think that rest is reward, when rest should be life, right? Like that should be the goal in life. And so I think that we need to scale back on this whole idea that you just got to keep going, keep doing until when? Like until forever. So hustle culture for me.
ouch.
those are bars.
Oh, the kitchen is open. The kitchen is open. We cooking today. We cooking.
And
Come on.
that I just love it. I'm so excited. What when I love that each of you had something different. That's what's so I love having about this panel. But that each of you had something different, but still something that locks into like something that we've all experienced and understand. As far as it goes into Juneteenth, right? We're talking about the chains, but we're talking about it as a celebration. It is a celebration, right? But there's also a lot to take away from this holiday. Just the idea of the story of it, right? Knowing that freedom is there without actually having it. Does that feel like something that goes on today for y'all? Please let me know.
Oh, yes. Come on now. I think that as Black people, we know exactly what that means, right? We've arrived at the moment. People say that you're free if we think about Juneteenth and its origins, and we don't even know it, or we can't even live it, or we can't even experience or feel it. Take the recent news, what's been taking place in the news with Black males, right? In particular. And what type of freedom do they actually get to experience? What is freedom when you're policed constantly from the day that you were born to the day that you die? And I think that has been the Black experience. Freedom has yet to arrive, regardless if we've had 1776, 4th of July, or Juneteenth. We are still trying to free ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the thing that is really interesting because the history of Juneteenth has been warped a bit, right? And I think it sort of mirrors the current moment, right, where everything feels like it has to be gifted to us, or it has to be our liberation has to be enforced, right? Like the slaves who were freed in Galveston were free when the soldiers got there, right? They were free before they arrived. What needed to happen was somebody enforcing the freedom, right? Somebody coming and telling the people who kept them subjugated, you can no longer do that, right? And, I think a big piece of so much of what it feels like is happening in this moment is the gatekeepers are returning and putting the gates back that that used to exist, that time and energy and blood and sweat and tears had worked to move out of the way, to eliminate. And I think so much of what liberation and love feels like is psychological, right? Sometimes liberation and love is reminding somebody that they were always free and that I am here and my presence is here to help you remain free, to remind you that you are free and to protect your freedom at all costs.
Y'all cooking already.
Barbs.
And I love that. That brings me to like, so when we think about freedom, because I think whenever you speak about it in that way, we think about it in like physical freedom, right? Like we have this like clear, stark, like visual and example of what that would look like in real life. But when you talk about the mindset behind it, or when we think about the mindset behind being trapped or being, kind of not locked in on the freedom that's in front of you, what is freedom more of an opportunity or a mindset? And I know that can change based on the context in which we talk about it. But what do you think in today's society? How is that feeling for you? And Sassy, I'd love to hear from you. What is that opportunity like? Is that more of an opportunity or in a mindset, in your opinion?
I tend to think it's a mindset, because I feel like with the mindset, I'm like, that's something that could change within the moments. Whereas opportunities, that could be something that you're just waiting on forever. You know what I mean? Like waiting on that moment to come versus you feeling as though like, okay, today's the day for me, and you make that judgment versus somebody else putting you in place of that opportunity.
Bars as well. Freedom is definitely a mind state for sure. It's the same as if like a mime, right? Stuck in a box, right? So I'm definitely grateful to be free in this country that gave us this freedom, right? After trapping us in the first place. You know what I mean? I'll leave it there. And I'm even more grateful for this day that they gave us to celebrate being free. You know what I'm saying? From this stuff that they gave us as well too. So I'm just gonna throw that out there and start there. Nice and easy.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I like what you both said. And I think that getting into that, like that space of this is a mindset and I have far more power than I realize. One of the things about freedom is that it breeds this power, right? Not power in like a weird, like I want to take over type of way, but just like empowering, right? Shout out to empowerment. But an empowering feeling where you realize that you are in control of your next steps, and you have say and input in a situation that could affect you. You don't have to stay here if that's not where you want to stay. And I love that you said that. And I think that that kind of pulls me back, because Nikki said about hustle culture earlier. How do we balance that, Nikki? How do we balance between, right, like knowing that we have the power to go out and do those things and work hard and, should I say pull ourselves up by the bootstraps?
No, please
Don't that, right?
I don't even work
Right,
with
no,
you.
not at all. But yeah, but like, how do you balance that?
Part of that. Well, I think the way that we balance it is kind of going back to remembering that freedom is not just
We got a phone call.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes,
we can.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Freedom is not just opportunity, right? It is also freedom is not just a mindset. It is also opportunity. And so that's how you balance it. It can't just be like, oh, I have to break free of this mental, slavery that has got me, thinking that I can't do X, Y, Z. Because you have to have the systemic or systematic or whichever one it is, things in place to provide the opportunity for you to be free, right? Like that is the one thing that you have to do to balance it. It can't be, you just got to pull yourself up from your bootstraps, right? That mentality doesn't actually work. There are barriers that prevent you from pulling yourself up all the way. And so when we acknowledge that it's never any one way or the other, right? It's not black and white like that. It cannot be 100% this. I think that helps with that balance, right? And so, yes, you can't just live your life through hustle culture. You cannot do that. You will grind your whole entire life out, look back and say, damn, I was out there hustling so long. My kids grew up. I lost all of that time, right? My wife or my husband or my loved one, turned into another person. You cannot get that back. The one thing that we cannot get back is time.
Okay.
Right. And so you have to kind of try to balance that out. You have to, right? Time is free. Right. That's the one thing that's free. Until we got into this capitalist country. That's a whole nother thing. But
no, it ain't a whole other thing. It's the same thing. It's
right. Like it is literally free, but we've created all these constraints and all these things around it. And I think that, being very truthful, being transparent, being honest about what the constraints are is how you balance, just how you balance it.
Speaking of capitalism, not to take us off the rail, but y'all heard about Elon Musk, right?
That's crazy.
Insane, right? All right. We're not going to spend too much time there, but that is crazy. That's a lot of money, bro. And
it's necessary.
It's frightening. It's terrifying.
Obscenity. It's obscene. It's an obscene amount of money for anybody. Nobody should have that much of anything.
No one.
Literally no single thing. You should not have. You shouldn't even have
a billion, though. You shouldn't have 1 billion. 1 billion is an insane amount that you cannot spend in a lifetime.
Facts.
1 billion is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. We might have to get into that for the after show. If you're just tapping in, this is Modern Day Bay. We're here every single Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We get the pre-show going, then we get it up here with the conversations. This week, we are talking about Juneteenth. We're talking about liberation. We're understanding what that liberation does for the people around us, what understanding the different or the balance, as Nikki put it, between the mindset of freedom as well as the opportunity of freedom. So, and how they need to work together. And we are just getting started. All right. Make sure y'all are liking the live, sharing the live, and following up these amazing content creators. All right. Because I don't be the only one doing shows. They be doing shows. They be there. They be there. Just make sure y'all tap in. Okay. But I want to get into how sometimes freedoms or constraints, however you look at it, can affect our relationships too. And Devil, I'm coming straight to you for this one. So I want to hear what you think. What do healthy relationships, including with self, create freedom or limitations, in your opinion? What does that look like?
Both.
Talk to me.
A little bit of both. If you have a healthy relationship, you should be free, right, to do what you want to do, right? Of course, right? Enjoy your life, have your friends, right? Have your time and stuff like that too. But the limitations are respect should be in order automatically. You know what I'm saying? So don't go too far. Even though you're having fun, you know what I'm saying? Don't be going with them chicken heads that's out there trying to be up to no good all the time. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So have your fun, but stay within the limits.
Chicken heads.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did y'all
every head turned and the camera when he said it was like, whoa.
Yeah, did y'all all see that? All of y'all looked at his square when he said that, like that you can do whatever. All of y'all were like, like he was sitting right there. What were the looks about?
Well,
yes. What were the looks about? Yes, we would like to know what the looks were about.
Listen, I think sometimes the way we talk about freedom treats it as if it exists in individual sort of like isolation, right? Like freedom is this thing you have individually. It is only your freedom. Nikki only has hers. Double only has his. Sassy only has hers. L only has hers. Our freedoms overlap, right? Like freedom exists in zones. Your right to do a thing exists in concert with my right to do a thing. And the problem is when those rights to do whatever bump into each other, right? That is where the conflict is. That's the Venn diagram, right? The conflict is where our freedoms overlap, right? So it's not to suggest that you don't have the freedom to do anything. It is to suggest that freedom also carries responsibility. right? Freedom also necessitates accountability, right? And so when I think about freedom in the context of a partnership, relationship, love relationship, whatever, however you want to frame it, right? Your freedom to be yourself exists in so much as it does not impinge upon my freedom to be me.
Come on.
Right. And so when we have conflict, it is about you exercising your freedom in a way that directly interferes with mine. And that is where, like I can't stop you from doing anything, but I can react to everything you do.
Bars. That's
I like that.
that's me cooking. That's what he did. Yeah, he was cooking.
Cooking straight up. I was giving a second. Nikki looked like she was about to say something too.
No, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly with what Dangerous just said. And I will say that Double, at the last part of the conversation, he did say, right? Like, he was like, within the bounds of respect, right? Like, he was like, respectfully. So whatever our boundaries of respect are, whatever we set out there, I agree wholeheartedly. I think that even political freedom operates in the same way that Dangerous mentioned relationships, right? We all enter into a contract with one another. That's what a relationship is. It's a social or emotional or whatever type of contract that you want. And so we are in concert together in this contract, right? And so again, your freedom is dependent on my freedom. My freedom is that. And I think that in a relationship, we have to remember that. Like, we have to remember that this is a community. We've all agreed to these sort of terms, right? And we are only as free. And I guess, when going back to your mindset question, right, you get to create that mindset in the relationship. Those are the boundaries. We are only as free as our boundaries and the respect that we put around that, or the limits that we've put in there, allow us to be. Definitely in a healthy relationship, you are free. And I think one of the freest you can be is free to be yourself, like authentically yourself, right? Because that is, like, imagine how, you guys know what I'm saying, right? Like, how freeing it is to be with someone who completely knows you.
To be you. Yeah.
They allow you. They don't judge. They don't do any of those things. You are safe. They are your safe space, and you are their safe space. So I think that, in a healthy relationship, that is the form of freedom that you should strive for, is like to be your authentic self without limitations, right? Without those kind of barriers that are placed on you.
And I want to put a bow on this piece of I guess a candle on it, right? I mean, I think the other piece that is lost both politically and interpersonally is the concept of civility, right? Like, this notion that we can have freedoms that overlap in conflict and address that in a way that isn't intentionally harmful or antagonistic or, positions us as opposing forces, right? And I think that's part of the discourse, right? Even modern relationship discourse, right? It places folks at poles all the time. It's very, if this, then that, or if not this, then not that. And there's this gargantuan, there's a crevasse, right, that sits between where people find themselves, and you never cross it because you're so busy anchored to this pole. And when somebody violates, one of your clauses, your sort of response is to attack, right? Is to, is to put somebody into a bucket or a basket or a space that you feel like they belong in. Oh, you ain't shit. Oh, this man ain't, all women do this. All men do that. Or if a man don't do this, he ain't that. Or if a woman don't do this, she ain't that. And the truth is somewhere in the middle, and civility allows us to get to that place.
But I can't be civil with people who are trying to take away my freedom. I'm just going to say that right now, in case anyone walked into this conversation and heard that and got confused. Just in case,
don't get it
right?
fucked up.
Just to be clear.
Just so y'all know, we ain't playing like
we
that.
gonna get it back in blood. Period.
Right.
Yeah.
We come from the Harriet Tubman side of ancestry.
Right.
That's our mamas.
Clearly.
Yeah.
People
I'll
are
be Nat
confused
Turner. You can turn
nowadays.
me into a purse, motherfucker. I'll be Nat Turner. I don't care.
Man, Shout out to Nat Turner. So I think he's one of the bravest people that ever lived. Shout out to Nat
Without a
Turner.
doubt.
Without a doubt. So you guys are getting into some good stuff here. One of the things that I heard is like there's this this point. I think you said civility, at which you have to kind of make a decision in the way that you're going to go. In my opinion, something that I feel like I've observed is people choosing or would seem to prioritize being chosen rather than being free. And that can go for relationships, that can go for the patriarchy, that can go for, you know what I mean? Like, however, whatever, in whatever context you want to put it, it seems like people will be okay with not having the freedom if they are chosen. And I'd love to get some feedback on that from you all, as far as just is that something that we can address? Is that something that you all see happening as well? I'd love to hear from y'all on that. Please.
Hell, you just gonna drop a hammer and just drop a bomb in the comments?
I'm just trying to. Look, y'all do what y'all do, and I'm gonna do what I do. Okay.
I see. Lord have mercy. These are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Modern Day Bay, y'all. Goodness gracious.
Straight to it. All right, so that right there is why so many people stay in unhappy situations, because they're just so glad to not be alone, right? So I'll just leave it there to start.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come right after you with that one. You're right. Like, chosen feels like, oh my gosh, I have finally got to this place that I need to be. Someone has put me first, right? The problem is what Double just said is when you get chosen like by the wrong person. And then you have one of those, what did you call it earlier, Elle? Modern day chains.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you said, the modern day chains, right? You have those modern day chains, and then it becomes like trauma loyalty. That's a modern day, right? Like that, like, because we talk about that all the time. Like, come on now, where you just like
Trauma loyalty.
Somebody write that down. Somebody write that down in the back. Barry!
Trust me, I did. Trust me, I did.
I mean,
like, and that's
we
where
had her Wheaties today. Lord have mercy.
Come on now.
right? But that's where it becomes unfree. That's where it becomes captivity, being chosen, when you're just like stuck in that cycle that Double was talking about.
And then I think to a certain degree, like, it's something that, I don't know, for some people, it could be something, a pattern that has been at least taught. Like, I don't know if it's like community wise, but you know what I mean? It's like, if you're in a position to where you haven't gotten like to a point of like self-love, self-worth type of thing. So then you're latching on to the closest thing to where it's like, okay, I just want somebody to choose me. You know what I mean? To where I'm like, that's the focus for yourself. But at the same time, it's still solely focusing on you for somebody to give you a chance. Because I don't even think like freedom is the thought process. It's the fact of wanting to be involved with somebody, and like Double said, to, you know what I'm saying, just to be a part of something, so that way you're not alone. So
we saw. Listen, I ain't gonna say too much. We saw that happening on that other app with the man who shall not be named.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Pick me.
Deplatform all abusers.
Right.
Deplatform all abusers. Deplatform all abusers.
Come on now, but that was that kind of. I mean, I can't speak for the people and people who are victims of it, but it was this sort of thing where it was like, choose me, pick me, and it doesn't matter, and I'm gonna still get caught in this vortex of trauma, of abuse, of captivity.
Well, and I think something else to remember is not everybody wants to be free. Not everybody wants liberation. There are plenty of
a lot
folks,
of people behind.
I mean, and the uncomfortable truth about every major liberation movement in the history of this country is there are people who were subjugated, who did not see freedom as a thing that they should even want. Right? That this is the known, that this is the safest thing for us, that on the other side of this is uncertainty. And I would rather live subjugated in certainty than to have whatever is on the other side of this, because it's a disorienting effect, right? And there are plenty of folks who walk into the relationship space saying, I don't want to be like, I need, this is my identity is tied into
For sure.
who I am in this space. This is what I know. This is what I saw. I watched my mama, my daddy do this, and my grandparents do this.
Cycle.
I want the exact same thing, the exact same way, because it is normalized in my mind. And I'm not saying those people shouldn't exist. I'm saying that those people do exist, and we cannot presume that freedom is everybody's jam. I want to be free. I refuse to not be free. That's one of my biggest character flaws, is that if I feel like I ain't free, I'm out. I'm going to get to my free in whatever way that looks like. The minute you try to put me in a box, I'm going to destroy the box to get out of it. I don't care. Even if I got to set myself on fire to do it.
Allegedly.
That reminds me.
Allegedly.
GTA.
That reminds me of
On
this
GTA.
like
TikTok
this
shop.
modern day relationship movement that's happening, where some women are saying that, you know, the patriarchy is good. The patriarchy is so good that we should subsume our political identities under the male leaders of the household. Like that is this new type of thing that's kind of right. They don't want to be free. They're like, I don't want to vote. I don't want to do this.
They shouldn't be allowed to vote. I'll say it.
All right, so
They clearly don't have the brain capacity to make a good decision. Okay.
for sure. But the big bag off that too as well, right? It could be the complete opposite as well, right? They might not necessarily have seen these patterns. They might not have seen anything at all, right? They might have been grown up in without a dad, without a mom, right? And realize like, hey, this is the first person that's given me any attention at all ever in my whole fucking life. This is love. You know what I'm saying? It's something about the comfortability and being content. I like that one. I'm using that one.
I have to point out that all of these things that we're describing right now, like liking to stay, not wanting freedom, it feels good in this way, oh, I feel chosen, these are all symptoms of Stockholm syndrome. I don't know if that's like, this is a real thing. Like my sister has said before, shout out to my sister, she's so smart and brilliant, I just love her, but she said before, like, I think Black people, you know, suffer from Stockholm syndrome. African Americans specifically suffer from Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, well, she's what, 25, and you know, so she's, but and I was like, I you know what it is to live in America as a Black person, you know your experience, and you know the definition of Stockholm syndrome, even if you've never experienced it. I think a lot of us have without knowing it, but and then you put them together and it's like, oh my goodness, and the patriarchy literally rewards you for making you feel included just enough that you're willing to abandon your freedom without even knowing it, right? And that goes for men, that goes for women, that goes for anybody that in some way benefits, right? And is willing to accept that benefit over their freedom. And it's quite fascinating to say the least. Whenever to hear you all describe it and to say these things, and then to have that kind of echoing in my head, like Stockholm syndrome, which is, I mean, obviously benefits the oppressor more than anybody.
Well, I think it's important to point out the power of isms, right? Like folks will self-sacrifice to preserve and advance an ism, right? Imagine having so much faith in the men of your community and culture that you are willing to literally put into their hands everything about your life. I've been watching what is happening in these spaces with influencers who are saying, to Nikki's point, women shouldn't have the right to vote. One household, one vote. And I'm saying to myself, I know I just finished watching the Testaments, right? Which is, you know, like, and I'm like, is this how it starts? Right? Like, is this how The Handmaid's Tale starts in real life, where there are women so deeply invested in subjugating people who are different than them that they are willing to subjugate themselves further in the hands of the men that they have trusted, right? They are choosing to say, I care so much about ensuring that you don't have that I am willing to not have.
Mm-hmm.
So you have less. I'm willing to give up what I got so that you don't get anywhere close to what I have.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people who will do that in a relationship. They will self-sacrifice, right? They will do whatever it takes so that somebody doesn't have whatever they think they should have. I don't want you to have the feelings that I have had. I don't want you to have my feelings around inadequacy. I don't want you to have my feelings around whatever. So I am going to fold myself into an airplane, tie myself in a knot, and throw myself at your feet as a function of that.
Yeah, no. Look, look, me, Sassy, and Nikki, like, who doing that?
Okay.
We're not doing that.
It's happening.
But I think
It's
that
happening.
sometimes when you're young, right? Like I remember, like like in your early teens and then your 20s, not your early teens. I'm talking about like late teens. Sorry, I do think that sometimes women, maybe guys do it. I don't know. Like you do these things for guys that you would never like. If you just look back in life, you're like, for real, I'm just sitting around with this like.
Doofus.
Even if it was just like, like wasting your time or whatever it was, or you got yourself together, you driving this fool around, like, come on, for what? For what?
And that's the sad part, and that's why I mean by like, at least the systems, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's things to where people grow up and they have like these systems of either, you know what I mean? There's so many things they're not taught to, not just people, but mainly women. You know what I mean? To where you're to clean a household or to take care of your children or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? There is this constant cycle of things not being taught. And then, once you get to your adult age, you're then, start to dig into like, let me know my worth and know my value. I'm like, you hear those things, but I'm like, it's definitely some things that you have to dive in yourself. Like these things are just not taught to us, nor do we know anything about it. So we don't know to ask somebody about it until we get into those other communities or get around other people that have gotten elevated to a different type of, point of, their life to where it's like, oh, that's what you're doing. Well, let me also, dig into that as well. So I feel like because people are not aware of it, because these things are not taught, like these are the cycles that we enter into.
So where do we land with the ultimate form of freedom? What does that look like? What is that? I heard Nikki say something earlier, and I had the question mark for a little bit later. But I heard Nikki say something earlier about like what that looks like, and I'm super interested to hear what y'all say. But like if we're thinking about all of the things that were said here tonight, and we're thinking about the way in which we're describing these things, and going back to you have this choice, you have this you can find the opportunity, create the opportunity, or take advantage of the opportunity. A lot of you have the choice to move away or to get out of that situation if you don't want to. Where is the ultimate freedom living?
I'll let you.
Yeah, you
I'll
asked this question
let you know when
earlier.
I get there.
I'll let you know when I
this
get
question
there.
earlier.
Because I feel like
about,
in every aspect, there's something that's holding us captive. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like if it's not work, if it's not children, if it's not, friends, if it's not family, it's something, it's always something. Even in your mental space, like you feel as though like, I don't have time to think, let alone have time for myself. So I'm like, how do I, you know what I mean? Like it's something that as adults, growing adults, is something that we just have to get through. You know what I mean? Like I said, these things in society is just not taught. Not to say that they're not out there, but it's like we have to go seeking for these things because people are just not sitting us down to be like, okay, well, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Providing us the blueprint. Like, you know what I mean? There's always, to me, I feel like there's always something holding me captive. So I'm like, I don't honestly know what freedom looks like. I'm trying to grasp for air at this point now. So
Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
So she following the drinking gourd chat.
Okay.
Swing low.
Swing low. Okay.
Chariot.
Wade in the water. Wade in the water.
My God.
Oh my God, not the Negro spirituals.
Here we go again. All right. So, will we ever be free as long as we have to pay taxes? All right, I'm next. All right, who's next?
That
You
part.
don't have to now. Let me
Working
not
for the
do that.
man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, you're gonna have to at some point. You can't avoid it. The
Right.
IRS is forever, baby. They anyway.
Man. Yeah, do you anybody else? Yeah. Nikki, I see you over there.
I mean, you just made me kind of shift in thinking about the earlier conversation about mindset, right? And so I think you have to operate on two planes of freedom, right? You have to operate on the social contract level of freedom, and then you have to operate on this like spiritual, internal self-love level of freedom, and they have to kind of coexist, right? And so currently the trajectory for societal right freedom, no, we will probably not ever be freedom. There's always going to be, like Danger said, some sort of ism or some sort of barrier, or I think Angela Davis said it as well, right? Like what did she say?
Freedom is a constant struggle.
There you go. Thank you. Freedom is a constant struggle. There's always going to be another thing out there that we are trying to break free from.
For sure.
But how you operate in that space where you're trying to break through the societal limitations has to be a level of in your mindset, right? You have to constantly elevate and remind yourself that freedom's a moving target, and I have to know that I am not defined by my limitations, right? Like I am not defined by that. Those chains may hold me back, but they're not holding me down, right? They may put barriers in front of me, but I can get close to those, if not overcome those barriers. I think that's important. I do think you do have to have a certain, mindset that you're not going to let the limitations of life completely keep you in mental slavery. Like that, there is a such thing as mental slavery, right?
Yeah,
And so
for
you
sure.
do have to, do have to kind of get over that. And so that question made me kind of rethink. Again, you have to do both of them, but I do think the highest form of freedom probably is being able to operate in this world of unfreedom, of slavery, and still not let it completely kill you, right?
Come on.
Spiritually, mentally, physically, like all of those things.
Come on.
Yeah, and I think when you asked this earlier, my favorite poet down there in the comments, Amethyst, absolutely smoked this answer, and she said something to the effect of, and I'm gonna misquote you, Amethyst, so forgive me, but something to the effect of basically setting down the things that were never yours to carry in the first place, right? Like that is, what freedom looks like, and I think when I think about like freedom, there's like freedom in the sense of I'm free to do what I want, and then there's like true absolute freedom, which nobody has, right? Like there's literally nobody has true absolute freedom because there are too many systems that exist globally for that to be the case, right? And even in the absence of sort of these formalized systems, you go before that, there were still social contracts, right? To Nikki's point, that governed how we had to behave in relationship to each other. Right. Exactly. What was never mine to hold. There you go. And, so that to me is what freedom and liberation feels like, right? It is being able to set down the things that never belong to me that I am carrying by choice or because I believe I have to. And for me, like freedom is operating within my existing set of constraints as freely as I can, right? Like I chose to have my children, right? And I love them to death. And so they don't feel like a constraint. They feel like an opportunity, right?
Oh,
like, you know what I mean? Like I've chosen to live the life I live the way I live it. And so being able to live it as authentically as I can is the highest form of freedom to me. And that means disabusing myself of notions that no longer apply to me, of, separating myself from the me I think I have to be the me that I am in order to foster the growth of the me that's coming.
Come
right.
on.
And,
Come on.
and that is what, sort of sits in my spirit. And, the way that I want to live my life, because I haven't always done that, right? I haven't always existed in this space where I felt like I could be that person,
Mm.
right?
Say that.
So that's what, the new freedom to me looks like.
Those are bars. Here's a quote too, right? Here's a little quote. You feel what I'm saying? Of course, I'm gonna add a little extra to it. You feel what I'm saying? But of course, but
There you go.
think about what you're
All
stretching.
that, baby.
Of course, you know what I mean. But think about what you're stressing over. You know what I'm saying? Think about what you're stressing over.
Yeah.
Can you do something about it, or can you not do something about it? Either way,
Mhm.
why the fuck are you stressing? I mean, that's yeah. I'm on good. I got bombs tonight.
Just nailed it. She nailed
Period.
it.
That was the New York. That was love yourself in New York. Okay,
That
Y'all
was the
didn't know.
Serenity
Definitely.
prayer, I think, in New York.
The Serenity Prayer in New York, the Brooklyn
Kumbaya.
Serenity Prayer. That's hilarious.
Definitely. That's definitely borough specific. Queens ain't saying something different.
I love it. I'm here
Yeah,
for
know
it.
that.
Why the fuck? Oh, good. Sorry if my family's in here. Why the fuck is you stressing? That's
Yeah,
it right there.
No,
That's it
big
right
time.
there.
Yeah.
I love it.
Got your back. I got your back.
Shout out to Double bringing all the New York energy. We love you, bro.
We love
Yeah,
it.
so
We
there's-
love it. He heavy in it tonight, y'all. You know the Knicks. They having their season. So they had their season.
Yeah.
I'm
Right
not
on
gonna
through.
lie. All I heard y'all say was self love. Not gonna lie. All I heard y'all say was self love. Okay, and I'm glad that y'all landed there because that is exactly how I feel too. Because
Mhm.
there's a lot of things to navigate. There's no specific answer for every specific hypothetical situation experience,
Right.
right? Like you have to use your discernment. You have to realize whenever you're in a space that doesn't feel peaceful. You have to realize whenever you have to love yourself enough to realize when you're carrying things that you can let go of, that you don't have to hold on to anymore. It's your responsibility to recognize how heavy your load is and to redistribute maybe the weight or to let go of some things or to but to make sure, right? I mean, hold on, I wrote down some stuff. Nikki said constant elevation, not defined by outside limitations, releasing burdens, unlearning constraints is what these are all things that go into intentional self-love. And that is why when we have this conversation and we're talking about Juneteenth and we're talking about culture and we're talking about heritage, you can't have a self-love conversation as a Black person without acknowledging those things. You can't, you have to know and understand your culture in a way that gives you pride in self, in a way that feeds your love for self and for your community. Because that is the way in which those things grow. And that is the way in which you ultimately create freedom, even if we're talking about them on a political scale. Now, I'm not going to say if you say your affirmations every morning, then, Trump won't be president. That's not what's going to happen, right? But like what I am saying is that whenever you intentionally move with love and respect for yourself and where you come from, that naturally pours out into your community around you. And those are the things that make the difference. Those are the things that release the fear that holds us back. Those are the things that release the constraints by which we feel we have to live, right? Those are the things. So dig y'all, my panelists, they gave y'all some gems. But I need y'all to understand that ultimately what they said was you need to love and invest in yourself.
Period.
That's that. That's that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You do.
Yeah.
Smoke that, L. Smoke that one. You smoke that one. Yeah.
I love it. Y'all are up here cooking. All right, we did go a little bit over, so we don't have time to bring people up, but maybe we'll do something after if y'all want to pop up and ask the panel a question or something like that. I'm gonna ask y'all this question, and then I want you to tell me the answer, and then we can do your outros and everything like that, or do your outro then answer whatever you want to do. But the question is, if you woke up tomorrow completely free from fear, what would you do differently? What would you do differently? No fear, completely free, completely light. What would you do differently? Give me your outros. Tell the people where they can find you and give me your answers, please. I need to know.
Okay.
And don't box down yet.
I just feel like that'll be domination. You know what I mean? Because I feel like without the fear, because I feel like for me, there's so many things within fear that hold us back from doing that initial thing that we want to do. or think that we should be doing. So I'm like, I feel like without it, at that point, you know what I mean? Like the sky's the limit. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm putting my mind to whatever it is that I want to do, tackling those tasks that I've had or I've kind of put off due to that said thing. Like it's limitless. You get to the point to where you lock in and execute.
Do your outro, Sassy. But don't leave the box.
Okay. All right. So if you do not know, this is your girl. Look, I was going to get it in. But this is your girl, Miss Sassy Red. Of course, you know the Sukula kind of stuff. Okay? You can catch me here every other Tuesday, okay, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you can also get a double dose of me. Come through on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time during the weekly fix with this one here. Tap in. Love on me. Come through.
That's what she said. Shout out to the shout outs too, Sassy. Thank you so much for the shout out to Sassy. Thank you so much for saying my name right before I went. If I woke up tomorrow with no fear at all, completely, it's all gone. I am moving to Vegas and getting married. And then me and my spouse will be taking my other half's advice and skipping taxes and figuring out a way to invest into something that will make us multi-million dollars, because I did hear something about pyramid schemes earlier in the show as well too. Okay, it's going down. Big double, you know what I mean? Big double. Thank you.
Big Devil, period. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with Devil. Thank you.
Oh, I got outro. If you are in here and you are looking for trauma loyalty, call me.
Right. Oh my God.
Oh my God. He couldn't wait to say, he said, I'm going to say this on the way out. I already know. Dang.
Yo, that was such a great question, Elle. I don't even know how to answer it. Like, I don't know how to answer it. I know that I think that, I would be unstoppable and I'd probably be a lot ruthless. Right. So, like, I would be very, very ruthless and I would try to change the world by any means necessary. So the freedom is probably needed for me. Like the barriers to that freedom, that fear is probably needed. But if I woke up with no fear, I would change the world. Like change the world for the better for Black people. We would be on top. I promise y'all. If I woke up with no fear, it would be in 24 hours. Okay. Hello. Or it may take 7 days. I don't know. I'm kind of a goddess, so you never know, right?
Come on, goddess.
I might.
7 days of creation.
It might take 7 days, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'm gonna do that. That's the first thing that I would do if I woke up with no fear. Listen, y'all, I would rewrite history. Okay, I promise y'all on that one. It's your girl Nikki 24/7. I am now TikTok's favorite her story, and catch me when you can. You definitely gonna catch me here, and with that guy up there as well. We got a show coming out. It's gonna be fierce, y'all. It's gonna be good. It's coming soon. So we're gonna be here on the TikTok app. Just catch me when you can.
Stay tuned.
We love it. Nikki 24/7 in the building. My girl. Thank you so much.
Dr. Nikki 24.
Come on now. Come on now. We waiting for the party. I'm ready.
Name it and claim it. It is what it is.
I'm ready.
It's coming, y'all. It'll be conferred September 11th. That's kind of crazy. 9/11. But
that is.
Wow.
Let's go.
That is. Boom is crazy.
Yeah,
right?
I'm like, hold on.
Boom.
Allegedly.
You want to redo that one? You want to redo that one, sis?
No, I know. Disrespectful. I know.
Sheesh.
That's what I told you. I'll be ruthless.
After the Knicks just won, too, it's crazy. After the Knicks just won, it's crazy.
All right, we don't want it to go that way. We don't want it. We want it to go a little bit more south, east the area.
Okay.
All
right, this is getting weird.
Nikki may have let go of that fear this episode, motherfucker. I just
right. She just tossed it out the window.
Unhinged.
I'm here for it. I like fearless Nikki. I'm here for it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm here for it too. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah. So if I woke up tomorrow without fear, there's a really good chance I would be fucking up fast and picking up speed. And I'm a big believer that a healthy amount of fear is healthy. Like fear, I don't believe that fear in itself is inherently bad. I believe, how we respond to it matters, right? And so I don't ever want to wake up without fear. What I want to do is wake up with an ability to manage, navigate, and overcome my fear when it's appropriate, which really don't answer your question, but it's my answer to the question. So who gonna whoop my ass?
You
I
are
am
free
the
to
new.
give your answer.
Yeah,
We're
but
free
I
here.
am the new dangerous. You can catch me every Tuesday and Thursday spinning records on my live mix show called Cruise Control right here on TikTok, 6 p.m. Every Tuesday. You can catch me either in this box, in these comments, 8 p.m. Modern Day Bay. I'm gonna always be here. I'm like a light fixture in this place at this point.
Well, y'all see the video. Y'all ain't gonna
Also,
leave him.
yeah, please. I'm really excited about what Nikki and I have coming. Thumb on the scale coming soon for all of y'all who rocked with us on that other app. We are bringing the program over here with some improvements and some adjustments. You know what I mean? So keep your eyes peeled, man. It's on the way and it is loading. And make sure y'all tap in Fridays over here, 8 p.m. for the weekly fix with L and Sassy, because I be here too talking shit in them comments. So.
And do.
Right. He do too, y'all. He be right up in here talking shit with us. We just be talking
It's
about all this
family.
stuff.
That's what family do. I'm the cousin. I'm cousin Pete. I'm cousin Pete.
Not the one that does the pyramid schemes at the Juneteenth
Not
cookout,
at
though,
all.
right?
That's
Okay.
me. That's
No,
me.
no,
That's
no,
you.
no. I'm the
Okay.
one.
We already
I'm
know.
the
He
one
coming with his
that only brings his
PowerPoint.
appetite. Yeah.
For sure.
I love it. All right, y'all. Shout out to the Boss Babe panelists. They are amazing. Well, I'm gonna close up the show and do El Said It. And then I'm gonna wish y'all happy Juneteenth, all right? Because this was an amazing episode. Period. But all right, y'all. This is the portion of the show where I give you my key takeaways and highlighted opinion from today's conversation. So there's a lot to say about this. There's a lot to say about this. This is a topic that is true to my very, very special to me, because I do believe that ultimately everything goes back to self-love, and that's literally the reason why we have this show and why we have these conversations, to highlight how these things affect our relationships with others, and more importantly, our relationship with ourselves. So when it comes to Juneteenth, it reminds us of something powerful, right? Freedom can exist long before we realize it's ours. Those enslaved in Texas were legally free long before they knew it. And while that vivid of an example, while that is an extremely vivid, example, sometimes that's our story too, right? Sometimes the cage isn't locked anymore. Sometimes the door has been open. What's holding us back isn't permission. It is awareness, fear, conditioning. It's the version of ourselves we had to become to survive. But it's okay to let go of that survival, chat. It's okay to let it go. Real freedom isn't just about what was removed from you. It's about what you finally give yourself the permission to do outside what gives you hesitancy. Permission to heal, permission to be seen, to take up space, to stop shrinking, to become. So tonight, we don't just celebrate freedom. Ask yourself where you're still waiting for permission. What do you still need to give yourself to be fearless? Because liberation begins the moment you realize you've already been enough, in the words of the great, I'm sorry, let me do that again because I'm about to mess up this line. I can't do that to my good sis. Because liberation begins the moment you realize you've already been enough. And in the words of the greatest living performer, they'll never take my power. This week's affirmation is I give myself permission to do whatever the hell I want and be the power I am called to be every single day. And when they ask you,
who told you that?
You tell them Elle said it. All right. Let's get into it, y'all. Thank you so much for tapping in. Shout out to the Boss Babe panelists in the building tonight. Nikki, Dangerous, Sassy, and Double. We appreciate you. Shout out to DJ Rich Beats, y'all. If y'all see Barry bopping down there, make sure you thank her because this doesn't happen without her. Thank you, Barry. Shout out to Lito, our tech producer. And of course, we will see you next Tuesday for another episode of Modern Day Bay. Make sure you tap in every weekday at 8 p.m. right here at Drug Radio Live on TikTok, and especially on Fridays as well for the weekly fix. And until then, My name is L the Drug. This is Modern Day Bay, and remember to protect your peace, walk in your worth, and live well. Good night.